Julian Wilson, Nat Young, Kai Otton take to the lineup, and we'll send it to the booth with Gig Silliers and Ross Williams for the call.
Well, we are into competition here and opening rides. Kai Otton will go step floating straight away on these beautiful glassy peaks of Peniche, Portugal this morning. Little jam there from the previous winner of the event.
Having all that pressure build up, you're going to get a lot of reps. This was a split peak action here. Right here we had Kai Otton go on the right, Nat Young from California going left. And so this is going to be common all day long. We're going to see a million rides go down. So what's going to happen is you're going to see guys be a little more risky. You know, they're not going to be feeling like they have to be conservative because this is their one shot in the heat. As we watch Kai actually finish on his feet here, so not a bad start for him. That's why we love coming here to Super Tubos. I feel like it gives the guys so many opportunities that they can really light it up.
Little in and out for Julian Wilson there. Already 3 minutes deep into this opening encounter here this morning.
But as a competitor, this really settles the nerves because you're gonna catch a lot of waves. You can go for airs, barrels, everything's on offer.
Well, here Kai Otton already on wave 2, folks, and he'll go to the air beautifully. As he puts it down, he'll go over the outside edge. So quick succession of action here this morning.
And they stay steady. They go for barrels and big hacks, and so it really is more open than you'd think.
Well, Kai trims behind the curtain. He'll brush it out, and, well, a little question mark there to the completion. Picking up that only career win. What are you seeing here, Ross?
Well, he was forced to pull into this barrel. I think when he took off, he wanted to get some major work done on the wall, but that happens out here. This wave is so quick. You know, you have to be extremely agile. You have to respond within half a second periods to what the wave's going to offer you. And so you're really talking about all day long reflexes, or actually not even thinking, just responding to the wave.
So instinctive approach here from Julian Wilson in the punchy conditions of Peniche. These waves really thunder down and impact hard on these sandbars here. And love that point you're making there, Ross. It's almost, as you mentioned, instinctive, quick reactions. Every wave slightly different.
So Julian trying to create a little bit of room there. Nice bottom turn and 2 smashes. So the first turn I thought was really brilliant because he dropped straight down to give himself just a little bit of a bottom turn. That created that angle where he was actually able to perform a solid backhand snap. See the drop right here? He faded just for maybe a half a foot, and that gave him just enough space to hit to pull off a snap rather than just a little check turn. And then he had that flow down the line, a hit, and even finished with the floater. So just an okay score. Obviously, this is not going to be an excellent score in my opinion, but you could see how quick he was. He responded to that wedgy little peak, and he got a couple of maneuvers in. Get 2 keepers, and that's really allowed the boys to light it up.
Split peak will go with Julian Wilson, who goes quick in and out. And now across to Kai Otton, who chose the right-hander. It's got more space on it, and Kai gets a nice little link to the inside. We'll see if he can capitalize on this last little punch. He can't. You mentioned, Ross, how sucky these little waves are, how much power. We were discussing it off air this morning. There's an incredible amount of speed is able to be generated on these little pockets here in Peniche.
Yeah, and there's so it's one of those things you kind of live by the sword, die by the sword. So you get a ton of speed, as you mentioned, from that tight transition, but also it really does kind of handcuff you. You know, you can get cramped for space. You don't have this big wide open wall where you can draw a big clean carve. It really is about tight jams, airs, and barrels.
Big step float for Julian Wilson, who'll get back to work. That was a strong statement there. Just a little buck off the horse at the end for Julian Wilson, but 2 strong hits to keep Wilson's scorecard ticking here.
They won't get too caught up with going for an aerial move. As we see Julian here, nice little float there. Again, that was quick. Great response to that wave. It tried to shut down on him. He got that floater right away so that he was able to get one more maneuver, but unfortunate for Julian, he fell in that last snap. The judge is going to pay attention to that last little maneuver because it's such a quick ride.
We are on the south side of the seaside village of Peniche, about an hour's drive north of Lisbon, and we now pick up on Julian Wilson, who's going to keep attacking that lip. Lovely lines that he draws. You see that speed. He keeps that board flowing entire time.
Amazing about Julian is he's one of the smoothest surfers on tour. You try to think of a surfer who has flow. You're looking at it right here. He just never seems rushed. You know, he's got that ease to his surfing. But that's typically not conducive for super tubos. You know, you think of a fast, twitchy surfer is the type of surfer. Think of an Italo. That's the kind of surfing that matches out here. But Julian, he refuses to let this wave dictate the way he surfs. You know, he's got perfect technique. He can still get the job done, even though he has a little bit more of a slower tempo than someone like Italo or Felipe.
I watched the free surf. He didn't look totally affected, maybe a little shaky, maybe. But overall, I think that he's going to be out there, no worries, and he's going to be warmed up and ready to do it. Back up to you guys.
During the free surf, before the contest started, the waves were almost a little bigger. So I think Nat, he was picking up on that. He's like, we're bound to have a real quality wave come through. And his patience paid off because that was one of the longer waves we've seen so far in this heat.
Kai Otton now using the left-hander. He's trying to answer to Nat Young. Tight pocket. Beautiful little angle for him, and he'll just stumble in that tight zone there, trying to fit that rocker of that surfboard into that pocket.
Kai Otton right here, almost pulled in, and I like the fact that he avoided that barrel. Judges are going to get more excited to see you go to work, and that's two nice clean snaps in the pocket. Not real crazy, but I like the flare on that third snap, a little tail slide. You can see his face right there, just a little bit of displeasement was visible.
The 517 now in, and a little change to the situation. Julian Wilson now down into second. Love this wide shot here, showing the multiple peaks. We're keeping a very close eye on Kai Otton, who'll want to try and find his version. Lovely glassy wall here, and there's the track inside the tube. Deep pocket, and he'll make a nice exit. Little brush on the right shoulder, but nonetheless, threading the tube beautifully here at Super Tubos this morning.
A couple minor mistakes. I think he would have liked to have gotten one quick hit before it finished, but the tube riding was crazy. Really nice there. You know, that second half of that barrel was kind of technical. So right when he was just feeling cruisy and kind of sailing through the barrel, he had a little bit of an effort here. Watch the second curtain right there closed out on him. So there was some navigating. It wasn't just a barrel where he could stand tall. He had to kind of knife through that second section and avoid the foam ball underneath him. The judges would take note of that. So not just a stock barrel. There was a little work involved. And there you go, clean score.
And Kai Otton has kept a little steady pace working here, Ross, because he's also found a 5.43 while we were at break.
So there you go. There's that lid I was talking about, that Kai Otton was the one who delivered the blow. So he ripped it straight off with a nice barrel, trying to back it up with a couple of backhand snaps.
And you're seeing the figure of Kai Otton under priority. Little look behind the curtain. He'll just pull through the back. Little over 5.5 to go here for the heat leader. And we think about that comparison of tube rides between Kai Otton and Nat Young. Nat in the 5 range, Kai in the 7s. This one here not offering any opportunity. And well, look at the thread going on here from Nat Young. Lovely ride in the pocket here at Super Tubos. And now a nice reply comes in from Nat Young. You were mentioning the requirements, and Julian Wilson will look to activate as well. So surfers in second and third on the hunt for that 7-point range of scores here, Ross.
Quick little waves. Julian up against it. He had to go for an error. The wave closed out. Just couldn't hit that ramp in time. Was a little late and got hung up. But this is that 7.26 that we were mentioning. Nat Eads, he might get it. Watch how clean his cutback is. Really easy to get flat right there and kind of skip out, but he held that rail line all the way through that cutback. I loved it. A nice rebound and then a really clean little tail side to finish. I would say maybe a slightly better barrel from Kai if I had to take a guess, but you know, much better surfing on offer for Nat to finish. So he might get the score.
Julian Wilson will do what he does, and he'll go over the lip, gets a little transition, little flight path for Julian Wilson.
I think whoever goes to the air today and goes for big airs, they're going to be rewarded.
So momentum continues here in Heat 1. Nat Young will now focus on the backhand effort. Just whips it out, incomplete.
Because it's a very sensitive place.
Julian Wilson will go into the backhand tube pose. And he's starting to really let it unravel here, Julian, as he's trying to force the solution to the requirements here. Kai Otton holds priority. And he'll let Nat Young get going on this little tapered wall. Lovely release there from Nat. completely flares it out, but it will be a little bit of a soft shoulder.
A bit of a potluck score there for Kai. He was in the right place at the right time and had a really nice barrel in live action.
Julian, brilliant lines from him, lovely definition. 2 tight ones, third one he'll just wrangle with the whitewater to hold on. And that is a last-ditch effort from Julian Wilson.
Or put the scores in my own hands by going for a big air. Because that barrel from Kai, you know, it just happened to be a nice long one. Gave him that extra bit of barrel time and got the score. Here it is, dropping down again. There's that beautiful technique and pace. Very clean first snap. Wow, awesome rhythm there for Julian. Got kind of handcuffed on that third turn, but you can see he finished on his feet.
And that man who got all the way to the quarterfinals last week in France keeps his momentum here into Portugal. Stay with us. After the break, Keanu Singh is in the lineup.